another aspect of our daily lives that really affects fibromyalgia, or at least people with fibromyalgia, but just a lot of other people with chronic illness and just other regular illnesses, and an area of the household which once again is quite tricky for us other than the kitchen, which is the bathroom. I was going to record originally in my bathroom, but it's too small. And I realized it was more of a hazard than an actual enhancement of this video. So apologies, you will not get to see my very messy, terrible bathroom. But instead, I have some stuff that I will show you as we talk about it. And I will just generally speak about why the bathrooms are so important for us and some aspects that affect fibromyalgia patients and that have to do with things we keep in the bathroom, such as cosmetics, things that we use for washing, and stuff like that. Okay, cool. Well, why is the bathroom a difficult place? Well, in the same way that the kitchen can be very time consuming and it just takes a lot of energy for us to do things, the bathroom is in general one of the most dangerous places of any household because you have things that can cause you an injury, such as a shower where you can easily fall. And things like that. Obviously, I'm not saying that your bathroom is a hazard place, don't take this the wrong way, but obviously, there are certain things there that people with mobility issues like chronic fatigue, arthritis, it doesn't just have to be fibromyalgia, need to take into consideration. And having a shower sometimes can be really hard. I know that sounds crazy, but it can be really hard because you need to stand there and then adjust the water so it's at the right temperature. Remember, people like us don't necessarily always know when the water is too hot or too cold or anything like that. It can be quite difficult for us to actually get things like that. It can be really easily to get burnt. You may get really startled from the sudden burning sensation and you may accidentally slip or hit yourself or just get an actual dermal reaction to the heat, like a skin rash or something like that. There are a lot of problems that people with fibromyalgia have with their skin. It doesn't affect everybody, but the vast majority of people with fibromyalgia have skin problems, like I have mentioned before when I've shown you my well, you cannot see it so much now, but I had a random chemical burn here in my hand and it's still healing. That was already nearly a week and a half ago. A lot of people with fibromyalgia bruise very easily and things like that. So, it's a tricky area where we can work to make things easier for us. Another reason is that, well, some people with fibromyalgia and mobility problems may need special equipment, not just ergonomic equipment, but special showers. Hydrotherapy is one of the coolest things for fibromyalgia. I cannot tell you how awesome it is to be in the water because it helps you relax. And if it's warm, it's obviously great. Sometimes it can be cold just to help with the sensations in your body, but just having a really powerful jet that sort of hits you in the places where it really hurts. It really takes a lot of pressure. It helps with your emotional and your mental well-being, and it just can be really, really cool. But, a lot of those things are expensive. Some of those things we can just easily adjust, like, there are specific shower heads that you can buy so that you get more pressure and things like that. Some people prefer just having baths. I can't have baths because, like many people with fibromyalgia, I get dizzy very easily, and I also have an associated blood pressure problem, which means I just plummet. So it's not very good because as I won't be able to know when I'm getting too hot, I won't be able to react quickly enough for me to be able to get out of the shower. Actually, one of the first accidents I had in the shower was at the same time that fibromyalgia started affecting me. I became really, really hot really quickly. I didn't notice. The shower tube got wrapped around my legs and it completely slashed me around there, which was really nasty. So I know firsthand how dangerous it can be in the bathroom. So make sure that your shower or bath has handles that you can maybe hold to. It can be very good for you just to make sure you have that extra reassurance. If you can't stand up, make sure you have some of those seats that you can take into the shower. There is no shame. And actually, having a shower sitting down is quite nice sometimes, just saying. It's not just for children. It can be for us if we need it. So there is no shame in adjusting them to your needs. And just generally assess that it's a safe place for you. And if it isn't, make sure that it is. There are many things we can do and they're fairly easy. A lot of those things are DIY things that you can actually just do from anything from the hardware store. So it's not hard, but it's such a big thing for us that I just really thought I would mention it. Another thing that can be really hard for people with fibromyalgia, and this is now getting into personal things like hygiene and whatnot, is brushing our teeth. I know it's only a couple of minutes a day, but do you know how difficult it is brushing? That looks really wrong, but brushing, doing a repetitive movement, particularly at this angle where your arm is completely bent, and just having to be so fine with all of your teeth around, it's very taxing. Floss, it's so difficult. I mean, most people don't floss properly anyway, but someone with fibromyalgia may not just the dexterity, but the patience, the ability to notice when they've hurt themselves in the gums. Gum infections are so easy to acquire anyway, and something like that can be just really bad for people with fibromyalgia. One of the worst pains that you can suffer when you have fibromyalgia is teeth pain. So infections in the gums and things like that can be really hard. So again, having a handle and being able to brush our teeth and take care of our dental problems efficiently is really important. So that's another aspect that I wanted to mention today. So what can you do? Obviously, go to the dentist as regularly as you can. If you're really struggling to brush your teeth, there are things that they may be able to do to help you out. The dentist recommended to me that I just brush my teeth more often and less, less areas, but more often. So like if you can't hold your toothbrush or whatever, and you need to do it in stages, it doesn't matter. The teeth are still going to be clean. Although I do appreciate it doesn't give you the same feeling of cleanliness if you cannot do it all in one go. And it can obviously stagger through the day. Our energy peaks may vary and it's difficult. Cleaning teeth is difficult, particularly if you have tooth problems like I do. Like, it's a mess. So one of the things I actually did in this year was asking for Christmas for an extra special electric toothbrush, which is this. It's not just electric, it's actually a ultrasound driven, they call it a sonic electric toothbrush. And there is a difference. It makes a completely different noise. I'll show you. Probably don't even see it by rating, but it's doing it. And essentially what happens is that because it's driven by sonic pulsations, it does more effectively and without putting as much pressure on your teeth than a normal electric toothbrush or even a normal manual toothbrush, which is really good. So it may be worth investing in one of those or something like that, because it's gonna take less effort for your hand to brush your teeth. It's gonna be kinder and gentler on your gums, which of course is another problem for a lot of people with fibromyalgia, just gum sensitivity, which you probably didn't know. And because of these things are very smart these days, it will tell you if you're putting too much pressure, which is going to help your hand and also your teeth. So just keep that in mind. Technology can actually help you. So that's one thing you can do to help out. When showering and things like that as well, remember that a lot of cosmetic products and things that we use can have a detrimental impact in our health and we may not be aware of it. And one thing I wanted to point out is towels. I know, you probably are thinking, what the hell is this girl going on about? Towels can be really bad for your skin. A lot of towels can be quite harsh. They may actually contribute to a prolonged contact dermatitis issue, just to more skin breakages and things like that. So if you have fibromyalgia and your skin is very sensitive, revise your towels. I have these, which are done with microfiber. You can buy them usually in sports shop because they're quite good for going to the gym and to the swimming pool and things like that because they dry really quickly, but also because they don't have that sort of harsh fabric, even though the others may be soft, because they don't have that type of thing done into them. The microfibers absorb the water really quickly without damaging your skin in any way, shape, or form. So maybe worth looking into something like that for you. And then other things. Keep moisturized. Learn from my mistakes. No, seriously, moisturizing skin for people with fibromyalgia is so important. Not just because our skin is delicate, but because the more moisturized we are and the more hydrated we are, the easier that it is for our neuronal receptors to be aware of those drastic sensory changes. So just use the moisturizer, whatever, I don't care what you use, just use it. If you're having severe issues with your skin, try and use, more specialist stuff. There are some things like for eczema, like E45 or many others. Your doctor may be able to recommend something specific for your skin. I'm currently using bio oil to sort out this very nasty scar, and it's actually very good just for damaged skin and for very dry skin overall. So, just again, look into things that are good for you. Check the chemical composition of a lot of these things, because a lot of them can be more damaging for your skin than you may think. If you read a label and it has a lot of things at the back telling you what the chemical composition is, you may want to check. I'm very lucky. One of my best friends is a chemist, and therefore he can tell me that's too much or that's okay. But at the same time, and this is one of the very few times where things actually work like that, a lot of the big trademarks tend to have better quality products. But more important than that, if it's ecological or particularly vegan, it's probably going to be better for your skin than a lot of other things. Speaking of which, same with shower gels. I actually use this. It literally has 0 things in the formula. You see, that's the formula. It's tiny in comparison to most. And this is pH neutral. It's gonna be good for your skin, and it doesn't have any smells, so it doesn't trigger any reactions like that. It's gonna be very gentle, and it actually doesn't leave a lot of residue, so it's less likely that you will slip on something like that as well when you're having a shower. So just keep that in mind. A couple of other things to remember when it comes to smell and stuff like that. If you use deodorant, roll-on is probably gonna leave less of a smell than if you use a spray. I know it sounds pretty basic, but a lot of people don't think about these things. This is what I'm telling you today. And other items that you should have in your bathroom or whatever if you suffer from fibromyalgia, because they can be very helpful. Obviously, painkillers, just be mindful of your painkillers, but not just painkillers, painkiller gel or deep heat or things like that, or heat patches, because they do essentially the same thing that a hot water bottle, but more target-like. And of course, remember that things like ibuprofen or other painkillers can really cause problems in your stomach. If you apply some of the deep heat or the ibuprofen gel to specific areas, the ibuprofen is not going through your stomach, so it's not going to hurt your gut, and it's going to attack that area of pain a lot more directly, and probably going to provide you with quicker pain relief. Just obviously be careful that you don't overuse it, because it can have problems. And of course, if you're using things like that, make sure to then hydrate your skin, because unfortunately, just how these gels work, they tend to leave a lot of residue and they damage your skin, and then there is more opportunity for breakages there. So that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. I think it's actually probably one of the easiest places to improve things for us with fibromyalgia, and a lot of the people that we live with can help us with things like that. Just quick reminders, or just making sure that our bathroom is a bit safer for us. It probably will make it safer for them as well. And a lot of the products that I've mentioned, and just general tips to keep on top of our hygiene and things like that, can be really hard for us. At the same, if they are helping us, they can help others. So it's more of a general tip than just specifically for fibromyalgia. But just because these things have been really helpful for me when I found out about them, I thought I would share them with you. I have skin problems in general, because I have eczema, and a type of eczema that is affiliated with fibromyalgia, which is pemphigus eczema, and it particularly affects my hands and my toes, which is quite nasty. But in general, my skin's always been absolutely rubbish. So when I realized how the chemistry worked and how it was impacting the fibromyalgia, it all made sense. And of course, like I said, the bathroom is such an important place for us to keep well in terms of hygiene, but also to keep relaxed, because we can make use of that water and of that sort of private time to just calm down and find our inner balance, which is very important. So just rethink your bathroom towards your, not just your illness, but your general well-being, and perhaps for the rest of the people in the household. That's all for today. Thank you.